Let's welcome Mr. Narendra Deshpande for the keynote address. Sir, the crowd is yours.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. I feel a little less energetic when the sounds are a little feeble in nature. So once again, good morning to everybody. The reason why I'm asking for this is because there's a word in Hindi which is called as thekedar. Okay, I know everybody is aware of this word. It is synonymous with the contractor word. Maybe when I attended the first interview, my first company was Gannet Dunkerley, which is not heard of today, I think. But it is one of the very oldest company in the country, even older than L&T, Gammon India and any other such company, except for Shapurji. So this was perhaps one of the biggest government contractors of that time, since the British era, and one of the favorite groups of Aditya Birla company. So when I was interviewed, I was asked how loud you can shout. Because the sites where I have worked run into some square kilometers. My first site was Mangalore Refineries and Petrochemicals. It's a huge site. So we didn't have that time the communication tools like this mobile or pager which was there. And therefore, walking all the way, calling a person or meeting a person and discussing certain things with him would take time. So how loud you can shout, that was the premise on which I had greeted you once again. So thank you so much, BIMLABS and Mr. Sashidharan. Construction for me is synonymous with civilization. And when I say the other side of the civilization, construction is the other face of it. It goes to say a lot of things. The reason is because since the time civilization came into existence and since till the time that civilization is going to exist, construction or rather civil engineering is always going to be in demand. This is the only discipline, you name it, any other sector, it has got linkages with it. So therefore this is one of the most evergreen industry which anybody can always opt to work for. I've been on the other side of the table for quite long. But then when I got this opportunity, I said, I come with the known gaps which are there on the industry side, and therefore let me see how much effort I can make it in closing or bridging those gaps. So when I came on to this side of this ecosystem, I realized that this is perhaps a unique ecosystem which has evolved in the recent times. Not that we didn't have any skills, not that there was no ecosystem earlier, but the current unique system is so unique in nature, and that's the reason why we have been there in this particular ecosystem for last more than a decade. There was a phase one of this ecosystem which started in the early 1950s and 60s when these ITIs came into existence. The manufacturing industry benefited tremendously from that till the time we reached around 80-85, and since that time probably the service industry could not take as much benefit as what was expected from the ITIs. So more or less the current number of 14,000 plus ITIs which are existing across the country, we're losing some steam and that's where the government came in and started this PPP model for the industry to take over any ITIs of their will and wish or choice and location, run this ITI on their own for their own internal and external needs. certain industries benefited, but again, majorly this could not carry forward in a big way, aggressively as expected. So it was in the year 2008 that the government thought of bringing this National Skill Development Corporation, which, as rightly pointed, was with 49% government stake, equity stake, and 51% industry equity stake. And NSDC for us or for anybody in this country is an umbrella organization. And down the line, there are 37 sector scale councils which have been created over last decade or so. Construction Skill Development Council was born in the year 2013 around September. As you have reached your 5th anniversary, we will be also reaching our anniversary once in the next month. So there are 37 sector scale councils. When I say 37 sector scale councils, you even have a council for domestic workers today. You have even council for beauty and wellness. You have council for agriculture. You have council for electronics. You have a council for IT, for automotive sectors, for even security and surveillance, aviation. So there are 37 sector scale councils, and we as a council are catering to construction industry. There are 3 more councils which are catering to construction industry. A few years back, there was a committee which was set up by the government, Sharda Committee report. The Plumbing Skill Council, the Paintings and Coatings Skill Council, the Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council. We are all supposed to merge as a process of rationalization. That will happen eventually, but maybe another few years down the line. So all these councils are predominantly registered at Section 8 company, non-profit organization. In short, if I have to say you what we do, our predominant mandate in simple word is that we need to bridge the concerns of the industry. We need to bridge the concerns of the academia. When I say academia, training also gets involved into that. We need to even marry the industry and academia. But all these years when I was on the other side of this table, on the industry side, I was wondering, these skill ecosystems which are running across the countries were predominantly running at a data which is coming at 35,000 feet, which is a very secondary in nature, or maybe driven politically with all due respect, or at the whims and fancies of certain influential individuals. There was no scientific data which is being made available to training providers, which is being made available to the academia, which is being made available to the industry as to if this is the planned investments of the central government or the state government, what are those academias actually supposed to run these courses? So thinking from this perspective, just 3 months ago we have started with both primary as well as secondary research. Let me put it very factually to you. We have covered the secondary research. We have completed almost mapping the demand clusters, the supply side of it. And also now we are mapping the academia across this demand and supply side of this. Meaning that, for example, when I was in the state of Andhra Pradesh just last month, the Commissioner of Technical Education was saying that we have around 90 polytechnic colleges across this state of Andhra Pradesh. He said out of that 47 or 48 numbers cater to civil engineering. But then he said across that 47 and 48, there are no takers for almost 50% of these polytechnic colleges. So the staff is actually ideally sitting and are able to do nothing about it. That's when then we as a sector scale council stepped in. I said, not to worry, you need to just realign yourself. So we mapped for them the demand clusters which are falling to the state specific region. And therefore we told them that, okay, you may either align this to the new requirements of these demand clusters, or merge few courses and start with these new courses like. So that is the magic of data which can make people actually facilitate the requirements like. Our primary research is hitting the ground starting 1st of September. And as I see here BIMLABS, I also request Mr. Shashidharan to be our affiliated training partner also, so that in the days to come, there is a lot more which is going to happen, especially in the new age skills like BIM. The reason because we have also partnered with another international consulting group which is called as Bexel Consulting Group. We have an event in Abu Dhabi on 14th of September where the founding president of Bexel Consulting Group, Mr. Velko Janjic, is presenting his part of session also there. Like. So Mr. Shashidharan, I think I would request you to invite to be an affiliated partner of even Construction Skill Development Council of India. The reason is because we have started today. When I look at when I was at the industry side, I was feeling that when I have to employ a particular person in say BIM, industry is not aware as to what background of person I need to employ. Whether I need a modeler for my works or whether I need somebody or maybe hierarchy or a structure of a BIM skill sets that will help the organization in its endeavors. Industry is not aware of this. So what we are embarking today is that we are embarking in journey where we are doing the occupational mapping for even building information modeling. When we do this occupational mapping, this would be completed maybe in say 2 or 3 months timeline. Then probably industry we will say that these are the roles which are there across the hierarchy or the structure where you require for different kinds of work in terms of building information modeling. And as a result, when we do the occupational mapping, we are actually defining the job roles. And when we define these job roles, the job opportunities are getting created. And that's the magic of today's ecosystem which I am speaking about. When the job opportunities are created, every person getting trained out of for BIM from any or every training institute will know where he or she is going to apply for or what is that individual is going to aspire for. That's the clarity probably you will get it. When it comes to today's topic, that is opportunities, I'm slightly a different concept believer like. I've always believed in the concept that opportunities always exist. Whether I am compatible with the opportunities that exist around me or around the globe, that's where I have to address myself. If I have to give you some numbers about the construction industry, we are almost there in terms of like the numbers, the second largest what we can say. Our numbers are anywhere between 6 to 8 crores today on the ground with the current economic pace. And if I speak about the central flagship programs like the Gati Shakti, National Infrastructure Pipeline, the Production Linked Incentive, the Industrial Corridors, the Smart Cities, the Defense Corridors, the National Infrastructure Development Corporation, which is predominantly looking into the border states road development projects, the linking of river projects. If these are to pick up little additional pace today, in next 5 years the demand is going to grow from current 50% shortage to almost the manpower strength would somewhere look around 15 crores, if I'm not wrong. That is the estimate our secondary research is giving the insights rather. Today we are already falling short of 50% of manpower. So what we decided today, maybe that's already on to the social handles of ours, we decided to come and start targeting first the last mile people, like, because they constitute 80% of your entire workforce. Entire standardization of these skill sets has happened within a framework which is called as National Skill Qualification Framework. That's a NHBF framework. Why it is important for you as younger people to know about this is because in the context of this new education policy, it is going to be becoming easier and easier for the students in the next generation also, that you learn and work at your own pace. You are allowed to move horizontally, you are allowed to move vertically, you are allowed to move across any sectors that you feel is going to give you a job. The unified credit framework is already in place. For example, today when we see across the crossroads, a lot of workers stand there, not knowing where their bread and butter for that particular day is going to come from. That won't be happening, because there is another magic tool which we have worked, which is already in existence since long time, but India has never utilized or exploited that magic tool to its advantages. Rather, with all due respect, it has been misused. This tool is called as recognition of prior learning. There are many people who are knowledgeable about many things, but they are not qualified. This tool makes you get qualified at as-is levels. And that's what is changing the entire ecosystem today. I'll not take much of your time, but then this world skills also is provided a great opportunity for us to interact. It so starts that in the last couple of years, this world skill happens every 2 years like. India has been participating in the world skills since last, I think, 3 or 4 world skills, if I'm not wrong. It starts with the regional level, state level competitions, goes on to the next level of regional level competitions. Then you have this India skills, and then people who qualify and win at this India skills levels are moved to the world skills like, where even the last mile is recognized. Maybe Mr. Unnikrishnan, he is having so much influence on the state government also. If any endeavors of the state government exist in starting something similar which is state specific to Kerala state, we would be more than happy to associate ourselves and lend all possible help, not only in terms of finance but also in terms of the ecosystem which we have today. The reason is because Kerala has been the leading state in setting many examples. So let there be one this again in setting the right example, because I have learned of one unique program which has been running across this state about this, which I am not so sure about the word. Kutumbakam, some program is being run, wherein all women gang, mason gang is trained to construct houses, if I am not wrong. Yeah. So something which I was very rather so happy, because it's not today, but then previously there was a misconception rather, that civil engineering probably we had very less presence of the girl candidates like. But today we have many leading engineers, girl engineers, actually leading big projects, driving big construction equipment. I hope many of you have seen the videos of Three Gorges Dam which was built across by China. And we have association training providers who are only looking to develop these construction gangs, especially which are predominantly female based like. We have also developed internal painters, girl workers, construction workers, female construction workers as internal painters. The quality and productivity is excellent, phenomenal. I think I'll have to stop somewhere here, because I'll tell you, I have been also a faculty. I've worked with National Institute of Construction Management and Research. Probably if somebody gives me an opportunity to stand and speak, not one-sided, but I do interact a lot, and that's my passion and hobby also. If anybody has got any queries, I would be more than happy to address that. Or maybe I am present here for the day, might be leaving little early in the day, but because I have to go to Bangalore also today itself. So in case post lunch, maybe around 3 o'clock, I'll be taking your leave. But before that, I am ready to address anybody's queries. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Shashidharan. Thank you, entire team of BIMLABS and today's participant. Look to know that we are there to support both everybody's endeavors, not just BIMLABS, but also an individual aspirational individual who looking forward to get himself qualified as a trainer or to qualify himself to get a job. We are there for you. And that's when I meant we are here only to bridge the concerns of all the stakeholders of the industry. That's in short which I can say you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I will request Mr. Sir to present Mr. Narendra Deshpande with a memento.